My child, come closer. Listen to my voice. Let me shatter you open with truth. There was once a son who thought he understood love, who believed promises were easy things, weightless as morning air. When his mother passed and left his father rattling around that cramped apartment like a lost soul, David made what seemed like the simplest vow, every Sunday. Dad, I will call every Sunday. Those first months he kept it sacred as clockwork. 3 o'clock sharp, his father's gravelly voice would answer on the first ring, ready and waiting, armed with stories polished like river stones. The neighbor's new dog, the hardware store closing down, memories of David's mother that still made him smile through the ache. But life devours promises, feeding on good intentions until they are just bones. The promotion came with fangs, longer hours, weekend sacrifices, travel that stretched him thin as paper. One missed Sunday carved a hollow in his chest. 2 missed calls became a month of silence. 3 months became a chasm so wide that shame made the phone feel like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Tomorrow, he would whisper to himself. Next week, when I can breathe again. Meanwhile, his father sat by that ancient rotary phone every Sunday at 3:00, waiting, stories stockpiled like ammunition, ready to fire love straight into his son's ear when silence stretched instead. He would hold vigil another hour, then another, whispering to the empty room. Maybe next week, kiddo. The heart attack hit on a Tuesday morning, brutal, merciless, stealing breath from his lungs as he bent to water his wilted tomatoes, the ones David's mother had planted before cancer took her voice. In the emergency room, fluorescent lights buzzing like trapped insects, the nurse held her pen ready. Who should we call? His father's mouth opened. David's number lived on the tip of his tongue. Then he closed it, shaking his head. He is drowning in work. Let me see how this goes. 3 weeks in cardiac care, needles and monitors, and doctors speaking in medical riddles. His roommate's bedside overflowed with flowers, visitors, laughter that made the sterile air almost breathable, but his side stayed hollow, empty. The night stretched longest. Sometimes he would reach for the bedside phone, fingers trembling, then pull back. He would feel terrible if he knew. Better to wait, better to protect him. Guilt finally cornered David in his car between meetings. 4 months. Had it really been 4 months? The weight of silence crushed his ribcage as he dialed. 1 ring, 2, 3, panic clawing up his throat. Hello. His father's voice sounded paper-thin, worn down to whispers. Dad, it is David. God, I am so sorry I haven't... Son. The word cracked open like dawn. Jesus, it is good to hear your voice. Something was wrong. The brightness in his father's responses felt forced, brittle as old glass. When David pressed, silence stretched like a wound. Well, his father said finally, I did have a little heart trouble a few weeks back. Nothing dramatic. Home now. Feeling stronger. The world tilted off its axis. What do you mean? Were you in the hospital just for a bit? Really, son? I'm okay. Why didn't you call me? The words ripped from his throat, jagged with terror and shame. Another pause. When his father spoke, his voice carried something that shattered David completely. A tenderness so pure it burned. Oh, kiddo, you have got so much weight on your shoulders. I didn't want to add to it. Besides, I knew you would call when you were ready. I have been collecting stories, saving them up like treasure. That is when it hit him. His father had been alone in that hospital bed, scared and broken, and his first instinct was protection. He had been hoarding moments like gifts, waiting with infinite patience for his son to find his way home. I am coming over, David said, voice splintering. Right now, I will put the coffee on. Got about 4 months' worth of stories to catch you up on. When David walked through that familiar door, his father was sitting by the window, his face transforming like sunrise, arms opened wide, and David collapsed into them. No longer a successful businessman, just a scared child who had lost his way. His father held him tight, hand gentle on his hair. "Shh," he whispered. "You are here now. That is all that matters. I knew you would come when you were ready." Sitting there in his father's arms, David understood something that destroyed him and rebuilt him in the same breath. Love doesn't keep ledgers. Love doesn't demand explanations or apologies. Love just waits, patient and sure.